floating around in the current. They don't have a hard skeleton. This means when they die, they do disintegrate away. They don't add to the overall structure out here. On the other hand, we have our hard corals. So they are growing and laying down a hard calcium carbonate skeleton, and that remains when they die. And new corals can settle on them and continue to grow. So below us here, there's hundreds of meters of old coral skeletons, slowly building up on each other. Keep nice and close to the surface so they can get lots of sunlight. That'd be like 1.5 meters, 2 meters. Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute. That is pretty good. Yeah, for an inch. Alright, so does anyone know what a coral is? Coral. So the corals themselves are actually animals. Their closest relative is the jellyfish. When we're looking down at the reef today, we're not just seeing one individual animal, we're actually seeing a colony of tens of thousands of individual coral polyps. Now the polyps are quite small in the majority of species, only about 1 millimetre or so across, so they're too small for us to see from here. They essentially look like an upside down jellyfish. Imagine the round part of the jelly is attached to the rock. They've got a very basic gut, and unfortunately for the corals, just the one opening. So it has to act as both the mouth and an anus. They get to taste all of their food twice. Around that opening they do have tentacles, just like jellyfish do, and they use those tentacles to grab and capture little tiny plankton, which are little crustaceans that float through the water column. Now, out on the reef, there's lots of hungry mouths trying to eat this plankton. So the corals, though they're trying to feed all the time, this feeding for the ones we can see here today only accounts for about 10 to 20% of their energy demand. So obviously not enough to keep them fully sustained. So what they've had to do is they've teamed up with an algae. This algae is called zooxanthellae or symbiodinium. And this algae actually lives in the cells of the coral. The coral needs that algae in there as it photosynthesizes, which means it's using carbon dioxide, water and sunlight to create sugars and oxygen. It does it so well, it gives lots of these sugars over to the coral animal, and that's how they can survive out here. In return, that algae gets a nice safe place to live, defended by those stinging cells. Now the algae also gives the coral a lot of the colour. So we do see lots of browns, greens, yellows and pastel colours. We see the colour of the algae. Now being an inshore reef, we're very close to the land, which means we have higher nutrient levels than the outer reefs. So it means we've got very, very dense populations of algae here at Green Island. We do get lots of those browns and green colours. Now as a general rule, the further you get away, the less nutrients there are and the clearer the water is. On the